lately have been feeling like you are really coming into terms with meeting yourself again, realizing that there is some shadow work that still needs to be taken care of before you cross over into this next season. My name is Dominica Divinely, God's favorite light worker, the golden healer, the messenger, and your down-to-earth high priestess. Back to give you this message. So a lot of you guys have recently come into this new profound awakening that has put you in a realization of you seeing that you have not always been the person that you would like to be at all times. You too have been someone that you are not, and this someone in you usually shows itself when you are angry or hurt. So although you know that you do belong to God, you are God's very own chosen seed, which is the reason why you are going through this very important awakening at this moment. And we are going to talk more about the transformation later on in the video. You've come to realize that everything that the world has hit you with, everything that you had to face, all the things that has attached itself to you, the past damages, rejection, heartbreaks, betrayals, or whatnot, along with the curses and the evil eyes and the illusions and all of the attacks that you also had to face, endure, and fight through that has really taken a toll on you. There could have possibly been something traumatic or something that has happened, or a series of events that have been happening that have been opening your eyes to things, or that has opened your eyes to the dark side of you. But as we know that not only have you been there for other people, how you have carried other people's burdens, that too has taken a toll on you, how things were never reciprocated with your pure heart. So not only have you been out there taking care of other people without getting the same love in return, you also have been doing a whole lot of work on yourself. You have been doing a whole lot of healing work. You've jumped many timelines. You've done a whole lot of transformations as far as healing yourself, turning your past around, becoming a whole different person from your old. So you've also come into self-love, and you've also gained much wisdom in this point of your life. A lot of the work that you've done on yourself has been you coming face to face with your shadow side, and you dealing with those parts about you that are not so good. Granted, you have overcome a whole lot. You have fixed yourself, and you have done a whole lot of work on yourself, as well as teaching others how to work on themselves as well. And although you had a pure heart, you had eventually gained a guard from all of the attacks and everything that had came for you from your past, when you did not have a guard up, when you were walking around thinking that everyone had the same heart as you, when you had to be taught the lessons that most people don't have the same heart as you, and that you are always under attack, is when you finally put your guard up. So it was really the ugly ways of the world that abused you and allowed you to see that things aren't as peachy and cream, and this is why you are always getting attacked, because your guard have always been down, is what made you put your guard up. And even still, after putting your guard up and you working on yourself and finding new boundaries and ways to protect yourself and love yourself and still give love to others, you still actually did find ways to put love out there into the world and to share and give love with your boundaries in your guard. But recently you are seeing that there is this dark side that has surfaced, and you are now seeing about yourself. You are now saying that when you get upset and hurt, that your anger is just as great as the love that you give, which means that your dark side, your rageful side, your angry side, when you are hurt and mad, can definitely be strong and effective, leaving real damages. Through your words or your actions, you are definitely shaking up something. You've even realized that sometimes some of the things that you put out there on others actually come back around to you. You are realizing that's how powerful you are. At the end of the day, God is going to handle your battles regardless if it comes back around to you, or regardless of how mad you are or how wrong someone does you. You really don't have to do much, because when you do much, you interfere with God's work in avenging you, being that you are a chosen and no one can really come for you. So a lot of times God interferes with your rage, allow you to see how powerful you are by allowing it to counteract on you while handling your enemies. One of the biggest reasons why God have to interfere with your rage and your anger at those moments is because you being as strong as you are, by being a chosen and having the powers of the God that you serve, and God placed his spirit inside of you, when you get hurt, you really can do some damage. Imagine being God and then calling the shots behind your anger. That is why a lot of times God typically interferes when you put justice into your own hands, instead of just allowing him to work it out for you like he's going to always do in the first place, without you getting hurt or in trouble. So a lot of times you can be in the way way and you are your own enemy in conflict. Now, I do want to make this clear. I don't get that you are a grudge holder or that you're just someone that goes and just seek revenge. When you are rageful in that moment, things can happen. So you are really not only realizing just exactly how strong you are when you are upset, you are also realizing that you are so ugly and someone that you do not want to be when you get hurt and upset. You're realizing that you do not like it. You're realizing that you're not just putting damage out there into the world, you're also putting damages on yourself in your healing and in your growth. And you possibly never really thought about it or realized that this is what was going on behind your anger and your hurt, because you're probably usually always just used to doing your light work. You know that your heart is usually in the right place and you are typically not the one to start the mess. So you didn't really think of yourself to be of any type of evil or any type of rage because of those reasons. You possibly could have felt justified when you were angry or upset. You are now really seeing clearly that because God puts his spirit inside of you and God gives you his power and his wisdom, your triggers to destroy is just as powerful as your triggers to transform the way that you transform. So when you are calling things out in anger, you're manifesting to destroy. And because you are not from the evil side, God has to intervene and interfere and show you exactly what you can do and show you exactly who you are and show you exactly what you cannot do because of who you are. So now you're realizing a major issue about yourself and where you could be going wrong at. Earlier I mentioned about how this is another transformation that you are going through and how important it is right now. This is one of the most important transformations of your lifetime. Not only because it is one of the greatest things that you've ever had to get over, you've had to heal about yourself in many ways to actually get over this, but also because you've already come in such a long way through your growth, your healing journey, and all the processes that you have been through, and all of the transformations that you have been through to get to where you are now. Even though you are facing this major transformation, you have still done a whole lot of work. You are actually in your graduating season. Everything that you have been doing for yourself and all of the work that you have been doing for yourself, including this transformation right now, has been preparing you for your happy season, for your retired season as a battered, struggling chosen. God is preparing you for this graduation, for all the things that you have prayed through and prayed for, the better days that God has promised you since you had started praying as a child. You come into realization and face to face with the biggest and the ugliest enemy that dwelled inside of you, that carried you and controlled you, that kept you bound in a lot of ways, that kept you from moving forward, and the biggest and the toughest, darkest side about you that you had to get rid of is meant for you to face and is meant to set you free so that you can cross over, so that your healing can be complete, so that you will not have to endure any more manipulations as far as all the curses and the illusions, so that you do not have to endure any more pain, so you've already been equipped enough to take on everything in this next season. So you have come into the greatest test and the greatest enemy inside of yourself that you could not get rid of before. Therefore, at this point, not an enemy in hell or an enemy on earth can come and take away what God has prepared for you, because you have did your work and you have prepared yourself while God was preparing it for you. So congratulations, my fine divine. You have passed the test of time and you have shedded and released, and now God is rewarding. It's your time. And this is just for confirmational purposes only, because y'all be knowing.